Hello everyone, this is Misha from Made Up Research, and today I decided to review some super overhyped products that I have in my collection. I think we all know it. You open up your Instagram and you see the same freaking product over and over again. And sometimes you give in and just buy them, and sometimes you don't. And I somehow ended up with a lot of products like this in my collection. So I decided to put them all together in this video and tell you what I really think about them. Is it worth spending your money on stuff you see everywhere? We will see. As usual, I'm going to start with my base. First, I'm going to take the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is everywhere at all times. This one specifically with the Niacinamide has been around for a while now, but people were really excited about it. Niacinamide is supposed to target your pores and even out your skin tone, so people got really excited about this. And if you know these grippy primers from e.l.f., you know exactly what I'm going through right now. It is a thick jelly texture that dries down super quick. And just extremely sticky. So this is what we're looking at here. I would say that this primer in particular, compared to the original green one, is a little bit less dewy looking, and it's also a little bit less wet. This one is almost like matte and sticky at the same time, which is a very weird sensation. However, it does give you the feeling of stuff really sticking to your face, which I do enjoy. So I do not hate this one. I do not understand why people make such a big deal of sticky primers. Like, oh yeah, I can like stick shit to my face now. What's the point? But in general, honestly, these do help me with my makeup. So I do like sticky primers. I just don't like the whole fuss around them that people make because they're sticky. Like, next, I want to talk about the Haus Labs foundation and concealer. I did give in when Sephora started selling Haus Labs, and I was actually able to go to a store and shade match myself. I did end up with the shade 70 Fair Neutral and the concealer in the shade 5 Fair Peach. Now listen, this foundation has been everywhere and everybody and their mom loved it. I was a little bit skeptical at first, but then I did speak to some of my friends who had it. However, for me, this foundation is an absolute like glam must. I was very skeptical about it at first, but I gotta admit, it is one of the better long-wearing and full-coverage foundations I have used in the past years. You can do like a super thin layer and it's going to look super natural. It's going to just look like your skin, but incredibly even and beautiful. So it's really quick to use. It looks beautiful. It looks very much like skin. It is a little bit, not like dewy, but it does have like a little bit of a shine to it. It doesn't have any glitter in it, but it just looks kind of luminous. This, you can turn this into a very natural glam or like a full beat. So it's very versatile and you don't really feel it on your skin at all too, which is something that I really like. So I would definitely recommend this foundation. If you do have like dry, normal combo skin, I cannot really speak for oily skin, but this is going to make you look beautiful, and also it lasts incredibly well. So there's that. This one completely hyped up for a reason. I get it now. And then we have the concealer, which was also hyped up tremendously. And I'm very sad to report that it's actually great. Like, one good thing about it is this one specifically does have a little bit of a peach undertone. So it does work with my under eye circles so well. But overall, it's just such a good formula. It is a little thick, but very lightweight at the same time, which is an interesting combo. But somehow, it works super well. And this shade specifically has a more peachy undertone, so it does help with my under eyes, but also kind of brightening up the center of my face, which I do fairly enjoy. You can see the difference immediately. Like, this is such an effective concealer. It doesn't dry out your under eyes or anything on your face. It's just a little too good to be true, to be honest with you, but I do quite love it. Next, I want to talk about some cream products because we're still in the cream product era and I feel like there's more and more stuff being overly advertised. First thing I want to talk about is the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick. This thing sold out almost immediately when it got into Czech Republic. And at that time, everybody was obsessing over bronzing sticks, which, fair enough, they're easy to use and stuff, but is this one truly so special? Let's see. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit. I gotta say that it is very creamy and it is very easy to use. You do not get a ton of product. Like, if you look at the stick, I mean, I've been using it for a while, but still, if you look at the stick, it's not like that big. But yeah, this was it at the beginning. Like, this is how much I used up basically. you use so little at a time that it really lasts you a super long time. So if you ask me if it's worth the price, I would say it is for the amount, but also it is for the effect. I just like this stick. I'm sorry. But the thing is, like, I don't feel like you can go that wrong with a bronzing stick. It's mostly about the shade. There is a ton of brands that do bronzing sticks their way, and they're also amazing. Like, for example, ColourPop. But it really all comes down to the shade that you want or like or, you know, need. But this shade in specifically, which I think is Happy, yes, Happy Soul, is my perfect bronzing shade. So do I like it? Yes. Would I repurchase it? Not sure. I would buy it again for the first time. I would. I'm not sure I would repurchase it. It is a good buy. It's not that expensive. It's definitely high end, but it's not like that expensive. Next we go blush. And I think you might know what I have over here. Of course, it had to be done. So this is the Fwee pudding pot in the shade Faded. This is my favorite of 4 Fwee pudding pots that I currently use. So this is the shade Faded. It looks beautiful. If you don't know what the hell is this, it is a pudding pot with a multi-use product. You can use it on your lips. You can use it as a blush. Pretty sure you could use it as an eyeshadow too. It is a beautiful texture, very moussey, very fluffy, very bouncy. The Instagram loves it. It was everywhere. Of course, it's Korean beauty. And yeah, there's like this weird applicator that comes with it that you can use to use it on your lips. Or you can just use it with a brush or your finger on your cheeks. I prefer using a brush. And then just kind of melting it in my hand. And then going in on my cheeks. And this is definitely my favorite shade out of the ones I have. It's just beautiful. It's like a gorgeous, slightly red toned, darker nude blush, and I'm obsessed. The texture is kind of matte powdery when you apply it. It is moussey, but then it kind of dries down and it just looks stunning, to be honest with you. Like, I understand why people like these. I have 4 of them now because I keep like looking for other shades that I would love as much as I love this one. It sucks when you buy something and it's the best thing you could buy and then you're trying to look for something better and you can't because this is the best one. Definitely. Shade Faded. Go get it. It's the best one. Are these worth it though? They're definitely unique and they're definitely fun and cute and good quality. It's kind of hard to buy them somewhere because, of course, they're Korean. However, I feel like they are worth it if you really like the texture and you really like the color because honestly, even in my collection, which is pretty wide when it comes to blush, I don't have many moussey blushes. So if this is the kind of texture that you like, which I would, you know, understand because it's matte, it's beautiful, really easy to work with, and really easy to work with even like on top of powder. And also it's multi-use, so I get that. I get that if you want it. It's good. You know, go get it if you want. I like it. Next, we get a setting powder. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow. At one point, this was everywhere. I had to get it. I had to know. This is a setting powder, but it also has like a slight sheen to it. So people were freaking out that we're getting a shimmery setting powder and it looks good. Like, of course it does because it makes you look not dead. Now for me, the thing with this setting powder is that it doesn't set that well. So even though I like shimmery setting powders and I like to look a little bit sheeny, I also want my makeup to last really, really well. And that's just something this powder doesn't really do. So even though I like the idea, I like the type of product, I don't think this is just good enough setting powder. I'm sorry, I just don't think it sets my makeup that well. It's fine, maybe if you have dry skin, this would be really nice for you. In the summer, I would not trust the setting powder to hold my face together. That's just my opinion. Another cheek product that I want to talk about is the Rare Beauty. I'm pretty sure this is some cute name that is not on the packaging. They call it a powder blush. It's like the Luminous powder blush from Rare Beauty. Again, these were everywhere, sold out all the time. In this specific color, actually, the color Joy. I have duped this thing like 4 times already. They are like nicely baked, domed formula. And this shade is just really cute. It's like a nice orangey blush with a golden sheen. It goes really well with our blush base. Is this like a game-changing formula, something you've never seen before, something you cannot get for less? I don't think so, honestly. I think this is a nice blush, but like, is it something you absolutely have to go and get? No. Again, I love that it's versatile. You kind of get like a highlight and a blush in one, which is nice. If you don't want to wear too much highlighter, it's very practical. However, even though this is a really nice product, it doesn't mean that it's like super worth it. If you love it, sure, go and get it. But you can definitely get something similar, I would say, out of different brands. Next, brows. I got the Benefit Gimme Brow because honestly, I have a mini one because I wouldn't buy that. I never understood the hype about the Gimme Brow purely just because it's a tinted brow gel and it's not even that good in terms of the hold. So like, what's it that you like about it so much, people, that you need to have it at all times? I really don't get that. I really don't. So yeah, is it a tinted brow gel that works? Yes. Is it gonna hold your brows really well? No. Next, let's talk about eyes. I did put on some eye primer, and I want to talk about the Makeup by Mario palettes. Listen, I'm not saying that these are bad or anything like that. Clearly, Makeup by Mario is a very successful brand, and I do have a lot of stuff from them, actually, that is really good, and that I really like, and the formulas are nice. It's a little bit pricey, but I think you are getting some, luxurious formulas and textures. This palette is very cute. This is the Ethereal Eyes palette. It's a little bit more, cool toned, pink toned, you can tell. It's cute. It's really pretty. It was also very expensive. Was it worth the price? But I don't know, if you need to spend that much on such a, basic neutral palette. That being said, I did, but still. I'm just gonna do, a quick base from the mattes because I wanna add something else on top. And I gotta say, okay, these are beautiful. They blend really well. They're good quality. They're pretty shades. But I also have a lot of palettes with similar shades that are just not as pricey. I mean, I guess you kind of pay for the luxury and for the brand and everything, but I'm really a little bit on the fence with this one if it was genuinely worth it. I do enjoy luxury eyeshadow. I'm just not sure that this one really hits the mark for me because it is a beautiful everyday palette, but I don't even use it that often. And there's quite a lot of kickback from some of these shades as well, so I don't know, I'm just a bit on the fence, I guess. I mean, if you see the palette and you love it and you think you absolutely need it and it's gonna be your one and only everyday palette, go and get it. I think that's probably its use case, actually. But if you think this is gonna be some revolutionary addition to your already existing makeup collection, not too sure about that. But it's definitely a very solid and beautiful palette if you want something versatile for traveling, for everyday, that kind of deal. So here we have a little bit of a grayish, cool-toned base, whatever. And I want to talk about the main thing that I have here, which is the Danessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Flakes in the shade Pride, specifically. These were, again, everywhere. I really wanted them because they did look very cute. However, I did wear these for a full-on look once for a beautiful, beautiful Christmas Eve makeup look, and they were gorgeous. I had them all over the eye. The problem was that within a few hours they just started flaking off and they weren't really sitting that well on the eye. So I'm just not entirely sure how you're supposed to use them, and I don't believe in their longevity that much. So I'm just a little bit confused, I guess, and a bit unsure, and also a bit mad at myself that I spent so much money on it. There's nothing to dispute there. These flakes are stunning. But I really hoped I'm going to be able to just pack them on and wear them as a beautiful peacock, and I cannot. And I'm a little bit sad about that. And now last eyeshadow product that I have is the Urban Decay Moondust. This is, these are everywhere now. They're coming out with a new palette of these, and people just love these Moondust eyeshadows. And I do have the shade Space Cowboy, which was everywhere at some point. We're just going to use this on the inner corners. But I gotta say, this is one of the most overhyped eyeshadows I've ever seen. And I did mention this in a bunch of my videos, but the Super Shock shadows are so similar to this. You do not need to spend this amount of money on one single eyeshadow. So go look into the Super Shocks if you do like this kind of texture. Next, a mascara. Of course, we gotta have a mascara. I want to talk about the L'Oreal Panorama mascara. This was everywhere on my feed at some point, and I wasn't really sure if, it's gonna be good or not, because with mascaras, my eyes are just fuzzy. So I got it at the end, and it just so happened to be one of my favorite mascaras in a while. So it is a tubing mascara, I believe, and it's just really good. I do not love the brush. I prefer the brush to be a little bit slimmer, but it is a very flexible brush in terms of, silicone ones. So I like that a lot. It's very black. It does make my lashes nice and long. And also pretty thick. It doesn't smudge on me and it lasts really well. So you can clearly see the difference. I would say it's one of the better mascaras I've tried for a bit. Like, it really makes my lashes, you know, look like they're there, which is a challenge. Next, I do want to highlight a little bit. I do have the Haus Labs Bio Radiant Gel. Again, this is everywhere at all times. This shade specifically, not really, but I have seen other shades at all times. This is the shade Peach Quartz, and I just like it. I think it's a beautiful shade. Everybody always says that these are like the softest, most beautiful highlighters ever made. And I gotta admit, like, it is a pretty damn pretty highlighter. It's very metallic, but super lightweight. I love how lightweight this powder is. And it does have a lot of, like, pearly particles. So it's like a beautiful, like, complex shade almost, I would say. It does have a lot of different reflex in it. And on the skin, let me just show you. It looks gorgeous, and it doesn't really emphasize a lot of texture. It's just super smooth and reflective. However, for the price point, is it worth it? Honestly, I'm not sure. This is the one where I'm really unsure because the shades are pretty unique. And as I said, there's a lot going on in the pan. But it's just a highlighter still. So I guess it really depends on your preference. If you want something extremely lightweight, you struggle with texture, but you still love a good blinding highlight, yeah, I think this one's gonna do it. But if you already have like a lot of highlighters, I'm not sure this is something that you must get unless you really like some of the more fun shades, because they do have some really fun shades. And now let's move on to the lips. We have two last products. First one is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk Medium. I do not really like the original Pillow Talk shade. I don't know, it just doesn't look right on me, I think. I mean, Pillow Talk is basically like a very universal mauvey pink. I mean, this lip liner in particular, is it good? Yeah, it lasts well. It applies nicely, it just glides on, it's really pretty. I'm just, again, not sure if the Pillow Talk hype isn't too much now. It's a nude pinky liner. It's a very, like, basic everyday shade. I guess that's the point. Like, you know it's the shade, so you can go and get everything in that shade, but I don't know. I don't know if it deserves all the hype, honestly. And then we have the Fenty Gloss Bomb Sticks, the High Shimmer Gloss Stick. This is not the original gloss stick. This is the very, 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 very shimmery one. I do have the shade Fenty Glow because I cannot get the purple one for the fucking life of me. However, let's put this on and see how it looks. This one, honestly, surprised me so much. I did not expect it to be this shimmery. Like, if you look at the bullet, it kind of looks like an overspray, but it's not at all. And the texture is really nice. You cannot feel the glitters. If you are into this kind of lip that looks like a regular lipstick with a shit ton of shimmer, you're gonna love these, absolutely. The texture is beautiful, the colors are stunning. Is it worth it? I don't know. If this is the kind of product you love and you want, I would say yeah, because they're not that expensive in terms of high-end makeup. And I do like Fenty lip products. I've always have. So this one, I would say surprisingly good. I was nicely surprised by the formula, by the look of them, and by the amount of shimmer you actually get. Because I was really thinking this is going to be a lot more subtle, but no, this is like a full-on glitter explosion. And that is all. Those were all my opinions on very overhyped products that I just so happened to purchase, and this is what I think about them. Are there any of your holy grails, or do you think these are just horribly overhyped and I'm wrong? Anyway, let me know. Like this video if you enjoyed this little review session, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!